Joe Pavlansky, writer for Scary Monsters magazine, curator of the Crypt of Classics, and this guy right here, this crazy guy is Eddie Guevara. He is the owner of HouseOfTheUnusual.com. And when we combine our powers, we are House of the Unusual. What's going on,
All
Eddie?
right, Joe. How are you, Joe?
Good, man.
All
How's
right,
everything
Mr.
going?
Joe.
I wore my Frankenstein shirt for all your stuff in the back.
Yeah, definitely. See, you see all the Frankenstein stuff back there? This one says, to Joe Pavlich. Pavlansky, I'm sorry. Mispronounced your name. Joe Pavlansky from Sarah.
Nice.
That's a gift. All right, Mr. Joe.
So what's new over there?
Nothing much, Joe. The snow melted. It rained a little, so that's a good thing in my side. But today I wanted to talk, the end of the year thing, and we want to do what is best. What were the best novelties that made us who we are today, that we became collectors for, and what were the best-selling comic book novelties of the 1970s? This is like the end of the year show, kind of, even though we still have a week, but by the time this airs, it will be the end of the year.
Be heading into 2021 and out of this crazy last 12 months. So hopefully the next year is even better for us.
Be crazier. The beginning of it might be crazier. But here's the situation. When this airs, it will be almost 2021. When I was back in grammar school, I read a book entitled 1984. It told you back in the 70s that when 1984 came around, it was going to be like, big time. It was going to be flying airplanes, flying cars.
Excuse me. Right.
The world of tomorrow.
Yeah, the world.
1984 came and gone. Then the year 2000 would be the older thing. So actually, Popular Mechanics put out a book entitled The World of Tomorrow That Never Was.
Well, you know what? I remember back in the late 80s, talking with my friends, and we were all Star Wars fans, so you would see the speeder bikes, and we were all what was the move Back to the Future, where they had the hoverboards and everything, and we all thought by the year 2000 we'd have hoverboards and speeder bikes, and here we are with none of it.
Well, here's one thing, Joe, that you I forgot to mention to you. When you said hoverboard, you reminded me. There was a time I was selling hoverboards, like the plans on how to make them, on Popular Mechanics and Science. I have them somewhere. In fact, I'd probably like to send you a copy, just like I had the how to build a jetpack.
Oh, that would be cool.
I think I told you the story one time. Some guy ordered it, and after he ordered it, I think I sold it to him for like $14, and he sent me a notice on eBay saying that, that he wants his money back because he says it's impossible for me to build this. And the first thing I was going to say, if you're such an idiot that wants to build that, you deserve not your money back. You deserve to go to an asylum for being a nut.
There are some people that are building with a good jetpacks. You see, they got them that hang out of the, what is it, like a tube in water, and it funnels the water through to keep.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but you can build those. That's simple. But I'm talking about a real rocket-powered jetpack,
like the Rocketeer.
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
You do remember there was a guy recently that he got killed building his own rocket. He wanted to see if the Earth was flat or not. I mean, he was smart enough to build the rocket, but yet the Earth is flat for him.
He got the Darwin Award for the year.
Right now, yeah, it was definitely. Well, here let's get down to the basics here, because this might be an interesting little show.
All right, what do you got? I know I
have a list right here, and Joe,
you've been shuffling through some
stuff.
It's
my private list. This list here has I listed the 10. Oh, not the 10. I'm gonna give.
What do you got in there?
The top 15, but it's supposed to be what is the best-selling mail order items of all time. Okay. Now, on the top of the list, of course, everybody knows this is a fact, because you can look, if you go on the YouTube channel, House of the Unusual, you'll see that the Polaris nuclear submarine has the most hits on it. The unboxing of it, which was a video that I did with this stupid noise in the background, a music thing.
That's such a beautiful item, too, that submarine. I wish, man, there's only, what, is there one? No?
Sold for $50,000. It's yours. You're interested? No?
Yeah, let me have my wife give me a little loan. And
okay.
But how many of those subs are known to exist?
Right now, in my, I don't know, I think it's at the beginning of eBay and prior to that, since 1985, I've looked for them as well as another 7-foot ghost. I've looked for the what am I going to say? The robot plans that never were.
Todd's rolling in his chair right now. Those dang robot plans again.
Yeah, he's. But I have never seen one come up anywhere. I've gone to flea markets. I go to conventions. I've traveled, to a lot of places where people, especially like PAL. There's a PAL here that does like a regular monthly flea market, and it's been there for like 38 years. And I've talked to every collector. Everybody remembers, oh yeah, I had it as a kid. Mm-hmm. No one can bring one forth. In fact, I actually launched a thing a while back saying I challenge anyone. I would give them, I think it was $1,000 if they could come up with a 7-foot ghost. And right now, there was one time way back where right before the book Mail Order Mystery, so this was like 2010, one came up for sale from the Johnson Smith Company that some guy apparently, I think he bought a real estate office, and inside the office that had been abandoned for like 18 years or so was a building. There was an old real estate office. And he found in a drawer with files an actual, with the emblem, 7-foot,
how do people come across stuff like that? Like, I never find anything.
Well, it's people that come across with it, Joe. And you know what they do? They sell it to morons like me for $895. So.
Goodbye, though.
Because of that, Kirk decided to write the book of my collection because he actually flew over to see. Since he was one of the bidders that lost against me, I told him, Kirk, certain things we can't fight for because I'm going out all the way. But anyway, it was kind of funny, though, because the story that he actually wrote on his blog, I think if you go to Kirk Damaris blog, he tells the story how, he was teaching, I think, in a school at the time or something like that. And he took a break. And he said that when he lost, I didn't know he had lost. I didn't know he was bidding against me. He went home, like he was really upset, his whole day was ruined. And I remember when I tried to buy that, I had no idea I was going to pay $900 for it. And I froze on the computer just looking at it. My friend from the background goes, Eddie, your wife was going to kill you, man. And I said,
and to this day, she still doesn't know you bought it.
No, she knows, but I had, actually, my friend forked over the money that day for me to get it without her finding out and whatever. But the thing that was interesting with the ghost is that I have it now. To me, it's priceless, and way over $3,000 for it. But having that and the original Melton Ghost, each individually packaged, which I'm actually going to try to do one of these days when we do next couple of weeks, I might bring out both of them and actually do an unboxing of them to see what they look like, because I've had them under, when I took it to Michael's, the
you have it in a frame, right?
Yeah, I got it framed at Michael's for like $183, and they put it, the Johnson Smith one, in a huge frame, and then they put it on bubble wrap, and that was like, I don't know, 2012. It's still there. I never opened it again. I've never seen it since I got it framed. Okay. So it would be nice. I wish my wife would let me put it up in the wall. That ain't gonna happen. But anyway,
well, what do you got on your list there? I'm dying.
I was going to say, of course, the number 2 best-selling item.
You've been teasing me.
Well, the number 2 most popular item would be the 7-foot U-Control Ghost. Mostly the Johnson Smith being more popular than the Melton Company one.
So you think so? The Ghost was more the sub was more popular than the Ghost.
The sub is not that it was more popular. The sub, the Ghost, the 7-foot Green Frankenstein, and Boney the Skeleton, and the Vampire Bat were the most advertised for.
Okay. Were they the most sought after?
Yeah, well, sought after now in the line of what I told you. The Polaris would probably be, because it's so many people wanted the submarine, but it was just until recently unearthed because there's never been one shown anywhere. Okay. And I was reluctant for many years to even show what it looked like because I wanted to kind of keep that a secret until I was ready to launch it, which I screwed up with the 7-foot Frankenstein, because I guarantee I went to the Honor House Company 5 times to meet with the original owner, and I was given back in 1986 10 Frankensteins and 11 Boney the Skeletons in mint condition. And like a bull run, I started selling. I sold 8 Frankensteins. I had 10. One of them I recently gave you.
Yeah, I love that one. That's like my favorite thing in the world.
But I
Thank you.
the market with them, I flooded the market, and then one of the ones I sold for, like, I think 178 to some guy in Texas. I get a call from another guy who bought it off of him for like 300, and he goes to me, "What can I?" This was last year. How much do you think I can ask for this? And I told him, "Who sold it to you?" When he told me, I go, "Wait a minute." I went to look at my old files where all my sales, because I keep like a hard copy of everything. I go, "Why?" I sold it to this guy for, I think it was 178 plus tax, whatever. And I said to him, "Why don't you try 520?" No, I'm sorry. I told him, 520 starting bid and like a 575 buy it now or 550. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 450 starting bid, 520 buy it now, because you have to have like 10% off. And the next morning he tells me he sold it. I'm like, "What? You sold it?" Damn. I was like, for $500.
Let me ask you a question. That because I've never seen one. That 7-foot skeleton, was that the same material, that plastic that the 7-foot Frankenstein was made from?
It's the same exact thing. The only difference with Boney the Skeleton is, if you have it in your mail order mysteries book, Kirk laid out my 2 copies on the floor, and you could see Boney the Skeleton is waving like that instead of like the picture you see in the actual ad.
Right.
He's got his hand down, because what they did is when they created the ad, they I guess it wasn't Honor House who did that. It was somebody from the Johnson Smith Company, because that ad first appeared in Johnson Smith for like only 5 catalogs, and then Honor House ran away with it. But whoever it was in Johnson Smith used a model kit that's famous in Famous Monsters of Filmland. You could see it was called the Perfect Man, or the Modern Man, I think it was, and it shows the skeleton, which is an exact copy. So they must have taken that copy and used it for the Boney poster. I always thought Boney looked like that, but when you look at the actual Boney, it's really, it's sad, because it even looks like beige. It's really, honestly, if you look at Boney, it's not a good poster at all.
Well, you know what? Go to and send me one, and then I'll take a look at it.
You know what, Joe? I still have 2. If I find the second one, which I know I definitely have, I might consider that, just to tell you about that. I don't want to put your hopes high, because that's a hard find. But I'll
send my muscle man Todd over there to come rough you up.
No, well, Todd's still waiting for his See, that's funny. I thought Todd might have had it. I had when I opened the pack of the hair-growing monsters, I came across, and I sent them 3. I didn't realize that the one that fell into the box was Igor, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get it, because it fell like deep into the box, and I wasn't gonna. So I know he's hounding me now for Igor, because he needs it for his collection. I thought he had it. Apparently he doesn't. But I got him now by a stronghold.
That's it, man.
All right, so we got the Polaris nuclear submarine, the 7-foot Monster-Go, the 7-foot Frankenstein Boney, okay? And then later on was the 6-foot Dracula and Frankenstein poster, which is the color version of him, which have been selling very well. They're very, very awesome. And then, of course, the other famous item that stood the test of time to this day, and you still get it everywhere from Spencer's to CVS, the Joy Buster and Whoopee cushion.
Oh, yeah.
Become, David could tell a better story about that, but he has a story where he explains how the Joy Buster kind of helped America come out of the Great Depression, when one of the presidents of the United States actually used it. I don't know if it was Eisenhower. It was somebody. David would know that story. I will let him say it next week. He was going to be on tonight, but he's on an important call retrieving magic from some guy way back who I think passed away, and that's what David does. He gets rare.
Well, here's a cool story on the Whoopee cushion, and I know you know this, but not a lot of people out there might not know it. Excuse me. Is that it was during I believe the early mid '80s, during the AIDS epidemic, and there was such a need for latex that the Whoopee cushion, its production for a couple of years. while the latex was used to make, condoms and everything, to try to, minimize the epidemic a little bit. And then eventually the whoopee cushion ended up coming back into production. So I always thought that was a cool little story. And I got the when I talked to Craig Tarbeck a couple months back, he had told me about that. I thought that was really cool, that how these social issues played into mail order novelties, and how one affected the other.
Well, you know something, when you're saying about that, I don't know if that's the reason why SS Adams. I asked that to David, but I don't think David knew enough on that. He told me he would have to do, but when they came out with their versions of the whoopee cushion, it was called the raspberry cushion,
right? And
it's made of vinyl. It's not made of the rubber. It really, honestly, didn't work that well. It wouldn't hold the air like the rubber version of it. But anyway, going down the list here, because I'm only going to do like the first 15, so I have time to show a few of the items.
Okay.
Even though some of the items are not here, but I'm just going to show it in general what the items, items that we have grown with.
Okay.
The seventh, of course, would be your favorite, the X-ray glasses.
Yeah.
And the Hypno-Specs are among the X-ray glasses, but the Hypno-Specs were only sold through the Johnson Smith company. They were not as popular. In fact, I don't even really know that many people that actually had it, because I never saw that ad in many magazines. But then, of course.
Oh, and here we go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. You got to look. Those are the ones. If you look outside of the street light, you'll see the word X-ray specs. But
I see you.
The other one are, you ready for this? Now, that was number 7, the X-ray specs. Number 8, wish Todd were here, the Sea Monkeys. Now,
nice.
The Sea Monkeys, the reason they're not so sought after is because they're still being sold everywhere. They just never stop being sold.
You know what? Todd he sent me some Sea Monkeys a couple of weeks ago, and I have it on the blog. If you guys out there go on houseoftheunusual.com on the blog, I started a Sea Monkey blog. I'm kind of cataloging my my Sea Monkeys journey through life, and I just when was it today? Yesterday had some that actually hatched, and they are so small, and they're just fluttering around the little aquarium that I have. And I tell you what, it's the first time I've ever had Sea Monkeys. I always wanted them when I was smaller, but they don't look like the ads, that's for sure. Except for, I do have an Eddie and a Todd Sea Monkey in there. My Eddie Sea Monkey talks to everyone, and Todd Sea Monkey, he already got his crown on and he's trying to rule the kingdom. So
yeah, and he's probably sitting in a corner minding his own business because antisocial. He doesn't want to mingle in with the rest of the monkeys there. I'll tell you one thing, though. The thing with the Sea Monkeys is, I've had them several times. Oh, gosh. It's just like every single year I go religiously to a shop right near me or anywhere, and I try to buy the famous Venus flytrap.
Oh, nice.
This one here is like kind of like the one they sent in mail order in a little egg like this that the darn thing never actually grew. But I always buy a live. It only lasts about a month and then it dies. And my wife says, "Why are you buying one again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have to, man.
You got to water it."
Tradition. But anyway, here's the other thing. Number 9 is Mystery Top. Now the Mystery Top is that little top which is in a little black platform, and it has magnetic inside. It spins, and it can spin for days. Apparently, Craig, I was unaware of this. I think he told you the same thing, that it was one of the hottest selling items for the Johnson Smith company. It's kind of funny that I'm looking at this list right here, and for some reason, I don't know what the Venus flytrap. I didn't put it on here. That's kind of crazy.
No, rip up the list. It's done.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, man, make changes. But anyway. So that's number 9, Mystery Top. Then we have 10. Now, 10 is the Moon Monster. I don't think a lot of us, including myself, learned of the Moon Monster till eBay came around. I had seen ads of the Moon Monster as a kid, but vaguely remember them.
Now this is we've talked about this item before a little bit. For the people that don't know what it is, what? Give us a little description of the Moon Monster.
The Moon Monster was out of Union City, New Jersey, where they started selling it. But I thought this was the end of the story here. I realized that this ad existed because, like I said, I think they stopped selling it in probably 1970.
That's a poster, correct?
Yeah, but 1970, I'm like 6 years old now. You know what I'm saying? I'm so. 71, 72, I started more like realizing what I wanted and stuff. So, the early memories are vague, And when I saw it one time, like in 1985, 86, I forgot where, I started getting interested. I was like, well, it's a cool ad. It says you can buy, if you join the Monster Fan Club, okay? And it's out of Union City, New Jersey. You would get a 6-foot moon monster, 3 monster masks, 12 photographs, a bulletin that's called the Monster News or whatever,
wow,
badge, and a card. Super cool for only $1.
Wow.
So, I was able to acquire, of course, a whole set. The set that I had did not have the bulletin. In fact, most people that have an entire set, for some reason, the bulletin is missing.
Okay.
But some guy got a bulletin, and I paid like $35, and I was able to complete the set.
Oh, nice.
The other thing that threw me off is a couple of years ago, I saw one time on eBay somebody advertising the Moon Monster. Now, with all the knowledge of, because the way I do my research, in case people ever wonder, is I have an entire collection and archived that I purchased from Boys Life magazine that go back to 1966, I think. And it ends in 1984. It has every single ad, like all the advertising pages in Boys Life, every single ad, which Boys Life was the main place where all this novelty stuff were advertised. Comic books had them, but Boys Life was, you can say it's the king of the crop, And what I did is I started going on the computer, a Windows 95 computer, and this is how long I started doing it. And I spent over 5 weeks every night, 3-4 hours to 3-4 o'clock in the morning, writing down, the ghost first appeared at this time. And that's why I kind of became like an expert, because I was able to track down all this information. The Moon Monster, I know I cannot find any ads for it past 1970.
Really?
The September issue. And it ran in a magazine called Eerie Magazine, I think. And because you had Eerie and I forgot the other brother to Eerie. It was Eerie, and then it has another magazine called, what the heck was it? Shriek? I forgot. It's a Warren Publishing magazine.
Yeah, it's slipping my mind.
Oh, gosh. This is funny. I forget that. But anyway, lo and behold, a Moon Monster comes on the internet, on eBay, and the lady who has it says it was her brother's. Her parents took it away from him because he scared somebody. I forgot who it was in the family. They hit it on him, and she was trying to sell it. But it showed the Moon Monster with a side profile, which actually, it's in Mail Order Mystery. You could see it in a small version. A side profile with a tail, but the face is that of the Moon Monster.
Okay.
So the first thing I go on Universal Monster Army, and I hear some people, were interested, and I go, that's a fake. Because I've done all my research. I'm Mr. Expert here. Never found another copy prior to it. Well, man, was I wrong. I went on, and of course, I don't want to say who in Universal Monster Army got a little upset. I outbid him. I didn't know I was doing that, though, by the way. And I won it. When I got it, it has a California address, and it's 1959. So whoever the Moon Monster was, or whoever ran that, which is funny, though, because I've gone to the building where the company used to be, and there's a guy that owns a store there from 1971. And I've asked him, do you remember? He says, listen, there was some guy there that had like a magic shop or something up there, but he has no idea. So I haven't really gotten into more details as to who the owner was, because in reality, I have it already. So I don't need to find the owner to get a copy of it or know the history of it. But the poster was real, and I have it in my possession. I've never printed it. I've never put it out. But I realized when I received it that it was original as hell. In fact, it has the, everything. The envelope is 100% with the, with the postmark and everything. So that's the story of the Moon Monster. And I have sold quite a few. It's a great item. And, it's something that I guess fits along the legends of mail order, I guess. You know? It was, even though it was a little before my time. Now, that's number 10. Now, I'm only going to go, this one's I'll say real quick because I want to now show before, we run out of time here, some of the products. The other one would be, obviously, number 11 would be the snake nut can, which was pretty famous. Now, the snake nut can is still being sold, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you sold me one of those.
Yeah. Did you get the metal one?
Yeah, I got the metal one. This was when we first started talking through Universal Monster Army. I had bought it from you, and
oh, wow, man.
It was funny. I put it on my counter and got my wife with it.
That's probably over 15, 20 years ago.
No, that was I think 2012.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so about 2012. Yeah, because I had just joined. What's that?
I'm sorry. Mail Order Mysteries came out in 2011. So yeah.
Yeah, it was because I just joined the UMA, and so it was right around there.
Now, number 12 is, well, very few people, except people that like kids, that like badges and stuff. One part that a lot of people don't remember is comic books and mostly detective magazines sold badges and stuff for you how to become a detective, or courses so that you can become a detective. So detective, that would be number 12. Now, number 13, there was always karate courses from the famous one we spoke about, which in fact, I got to tell you and Cav what I read, and I got to get the book out because we were discussing in a previous podcast, the legendary, gosh, I forgot his name right now.
Yeah, I could.
Dante.
Yeah, Count Dante. Yeah.
Okay.
The deadly Count Dante.
But there was a similar ad for a karate course, and people remember it because they used to send you for free a 6-foot karate practice dummy. It was a 6-foot poster. You could buy a medical supply. It actually showed you in the poster the nerve endings in about. It was, really cheap poster. I acquired one, and the one that I got was like in 1986, and I found it in a medical supply store in Union City. And the guy had it there, and I think charged me like $10 for it. But I think I have it in one of my really early YouTube videos. I have it behind me or something. But yeah, it was okay. Kirk Damaris always wanted. He asked me to. I reproduced it and sold like maybe 5 or 6, but it was not something I really went out for. Number 14 was obviously the book, like just the karate one, The Strongman Stunts. And then, of course, number 15. And there's, like I said, I have like 40, 50, 100 here, but I'm just going to say, I'm going to stop right now at this one. Number 15 would be the HypnoCoin and courses on hypnotism, because for some reason, in the early 1970s, people were really into hypnotism. And I was one of those. And I think we're watching Bugs Bunny getting hypnotized by Elmer Fudd. That's what made me fall for it. When I think Elmer Fudd tried to read a book about hypnotism. And then it's Bugs Bunny.
You got hypnotized.
Anyway, having said that and giving my opinion, because like I said, we can talk about the details of all this stuff. And if I go, yeah, the way my brain works is when I start talking to people about this stuff, then I start remembering the stuff that's happened. Because I'm a guy that drove to New York City to meet Wagman 5 times. I went to meet Harold Ramberhot, who during a toy trade show in 1982, I met him. No, I'm sorry, not 1982, 1986, I think it was. I met him with his wife, Yolanda, which Todd now works with in conjunction with the Sea Monkey stuff. And he told me how we invented the X-ray glasses. And I spoke to him for quite some time. In fact, I didn't speak to him. He spoke to me with authority and told me what it was. So, anyway.
Now on to the good stuff. Let's go. Let's see it.
Back in time, here I got one of the very early versions of the X-ray glasses, which were made of plastic here. Now, the more early versions in the back, instead of saying Transscience Corporation here, they say Honey Toy Industries. Believe it or not, I had like 10 of them, and I sold most of them because I didn't like the name Honey Toys. Until Todd explained to me that I sold the ones that go for $500 for like $10, right? I kept the Transscience ones because I thought they were hotter. Anyway, I do have like 1 or 2 Honey Toys left, but I could add more. This is one. Now, what happened with this really quick, and I'll tell a little story, is a company named Franco-American Novelties which has been a wholesaler of magic, and they actually produce a lot of the magic items, such as the electric shocking pen, electric shocking book. It's called Franco America. That's why you see the early versions of the electric shocking book. It'll say Franco American Novelties. The guy who owned the company, I'm not going to say the names because he did pass away and stuff, but Harold told me the story that he borrowed the mold and sent it out to China and lost it.
Really?
Harold sued the guy for the mold. So because of that, they went apparently into the later paper version of this, which is the same glasses. I'll hold two together here. And you'll see you got the exact same design. Let me see, yeah, but it's the same thing, but obviously one is cardboard, one is plastic, right? So yes, exactly. And Joe there is wearing one of the versions, because this is an earlier version than the one you have, Joe, believe it or not. One of them has the slight hole a little bigger, and then you have I think this is this is an earlier version. This is the mail order version. And Joe even has the instructions. This is the mail order version because it was not packaged. Okay, you can slip out. This then became the standard, item. You're great, Joe. You're great, Joe. Now, here's something that Harold hated this people because the Chinese immediately duplicated it. So these are the famous X-ray goggles.
I kind of like the packaging on that one.
Well, this packaging is very early. This probably is 1985 because I used to sell them in my magic shop. Believe it or not, even to this day, I've never seen a store, a magic shop or anything sell the original X-ray glasses. That's
really?
why I think they were such an iconic figure thing. Now, going back into the early, here's an early SS Adams polybag glop.
Nice.
It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be, I think, a mess, but this is, it really is not made like this one that's called
looks like urine with bacon bits in it.
It does, but there is one that's called Plop that really looks like a real throw up. But SS Adams, they did have, but a lot of their products were not of. Here is a new. See, and they went from vinyl to the rubber. You see,
yeah.
This by the way, if people don't know, this design of the SS Adams was done by Kirk Damaris. He's the guy that was actually hired by them to redesign the packaging for SS Adams. But over here, you'll see raspberry cushion. But they actually stopped making the blue and green vinyl one. And then they started doing this later and thing. Now, this is an old novelty that you probably never seen, Joe, heard of. But this was a letter. You would say it was called the Knuckle Duster.
Hi, never heard of that.
Knuckle Duster, see? And what this is, it has, like, if you notice, it has a wait, let me see if you could, wait, okay, there you go.
Other way, there we go.
And what you would do is you go like that. When the person took it out of the envelope, say whack, like a mouse trap.
Oh, okay.
This is a very old trick, and it was made by
So same concept as the stick of gum where you pull it out.
Gum.
Yeah,
it was
okay.
Made by a famous company called Fish Love. Fish Love made a lot of the very rare novelties, back in the day. Now, you asked me, and I think you always want, this is with the new packaging, of course, of Kirk Damaris, the Smoke from Fingertips.
Oh, nice, yeah.
This is Mystic Smoke. This, I think, was the best-selling SS Adams item, according to David. Now, I also had some stuff here that I thought you would love. Remember I told you that St. Augustine is like the best city in America?
Yeah.
This is I think this is definitely. Oh yeah, here you go. You will love this. This is like they make their money in St. Augustine. Half of the city is selling ghost rides and ghost trains. So I had that there. I thought I wanted to show you. Now, here I have two early famous monsters, give or take, that were sold by the Captain Company makeup books.
That is cool. I've never seen that.
The Wolfman scene, and this one here is the monster, Frankenstein.
Does Frankenstein have a mullet? Is he wearing a mullet there?
Honestly, it's.
It looks like a mullet.
I gotta be honest with you. They're put together where I don't even think they're not even looking at it. They're not even stapled. This is the old-fashioned way of doing things.
Yeah.
It has one sheet of paper, and that's how the book is. And I pay like $20 a piece because I thought they were actually better on eBay. And those
are pretty cool, though. I'i've never seen those.
They're cool because of how old they are. that's why a lot of times people say, hey, how come you don't make your things more modern? I told a guy that I know, I'm not going to mention because this guy is really, he's involved with one of the networks, and I can't say his name because of that reason. But one time he met me after Mail Order Mysteries came out, and he brings the book to me, and he's like, hey, can you sign this for me? And I was like, I got embarrassed as heck, I go, wow. So, we became really good friends and stuff. And he saw me what I was doing. He's like, hey, I can make that better for you. So he goes out and he makes me a skeleton and brings it back the next day. And I'm like, you've made a jointed skeleton. And he had the equipment. So I'm like, okay, this is great. But you know what the problem is? That the people my age, they want better looking graphics, but they kind of want the original packaging,
right?
The staple sheets. The next day, he brings me back a retro-looking skeleton that looked like the ones from Beasley from the 1950s. Wow, I fell in love with it. So we became good friends, and pretty soon, there's a book that Mr. Joe Pav here is actually writing, and I'm helping him with the book, and it's going to be better than Mail Order Mysteries. It's going to probably outsell all of them.
Gonna blow it out of the water.
It's going to blow. I'm not going to give title or anything yet because it's still in the making, but it's actually going to be a very nice item. We have the book cover and everything for it.
Yeah, we're taking our time with it because we want.
Oh yeah, that's a 10-month.
Perfect.
A year project. Now, this will probably interest. Actually, it might not because it has nothing to do with the Sea Monkeys. But this is one of the original Uncle Milton.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
They're the ones that made the Ant Farm.
Yeah.
The guy Joseph Cosman, who is the nephew of this guy. Uncle Milton was the uncle. His uncle, actually. Joseph Cosman wrote a book entitled How to Make $1 Million in Mail Order.
Yeah.
And he also made famous the potato gun or the spud gun that shoots potato pellets that was sold by all the mail order companies in the 1970s and still sold by the House of the Unusual. But anyway, I just wanted to show because here is, the way the catalog came, the Uncle Milton, and it shows in here. See, like the different. Wait a second, I can't show this. The different ant farms.
Oh yeah.
It's a catalog now. A lot of people say, well, how do you do your? Oh, well, that's by there you go. How do you do your research and how do you? Well, like I said, this is an Uncle Milton catalog, and if we look right here, see, one thing I like about people is when they think that maybe I'm talking, just talking garbage.
How do you bottom in?
Sit down, we can go over the paperwork. This here is one of my very early names of when I started going to mail order. I started selling. Wow, it's hard to get it back in the packaging here. I started selling books by mail. I didn't do the novelty stuff for like the first couple of months, and it was called Winter Breeze Enterprises. You see,
nice.
And here is care of. Here's the thing, when you look at the date on it, can you see it there? 1993. Wait.
Hold on, let me.
No, wait. You got to put on the.
Let me put my glasses on.
Okay. So that's it. Now, one thing I'm going to say, there 83. Was a book. This turned me into monsters. Other than Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which I think was the one that actually did the job for me. But this book has a second part to it. But this book is so cool that I read it and I actually thought you could have monsters as a pet. It was called Monster Holiday.
Okay? Nice. I think I have one of those.
Okay, this book was basically how to care for your pet monster. And let me tell you, man, I read it cover to cover, and I have several copies of it because it was one of my favorite. But this book actually turned me into monster. I bought it from Scholastic Book Club.
Oh, I love Scholastic books.
I think it was in 1971, like the summer of it. Now, I've had a couple of people, Joe, that I guess have asked me. In fact, one guy actually wrote about the famous skeleton hands that go in your pocket. Made famous, I think, by the 7-foot monster. Goes, yep, that's the one there, Joe.
I keep him on my computer every podcast. He hangs out with me.
Well, that is the way that was supposed to be is the way that the monster ghost tells you to do it. You know, like if you read the instructions of the real ghost, which, believe it or not, I've shown the instructions, but it's 4 pages. I'm never going to show the rest because if I do, you'll have people duplicating and then trying to sell them off as real. And one thing I hate is when people defraud other people. Like I tell people, this is my copy of this item made better, but in the same kind of thing. But you can tell when you want to know if something's original, you got to leave something out in the copy. In fact, I was kind of scared when I released with David recently the HypnoCoin.
Yeah,
because it came out so perfect like the original, including the instructions, that David actually had people trying to buy, for like $40, $50 each, trying to think that can you sell me more?
What? I hope you didn't defraud me when you sent me this authentic treasure.
Oh no, don't bring that map. People are not supposed to know about those treasures.
Uh-oh. I'll put it away. I got 2 of them. You said they're authentic, and
now you get 2 of them.
Treasure hunting now.
But the point is that my HypnoCoin, I made sure that it's the size of a 50-cent piece. Well, the other one's more like a little bit bigger than a quarter. And thanks to Todd, by the way. Todd, if you're listening, it's your fault, buddy.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks. You know what happened? I'm coming across looking for his hair racing monsters in one of my old novelty box, and I find my original HypnoCoin that I bought from Johnson Smith 1970 or whatever it was. And it blew my mind because it was different from any other HypnoCoin from the era and the present. It was actually cheaper. But
I think you did a video on that one, didn't you?
What was that?
Didn't you do a video on that HypnoCoin?
Well, I didn't quite do that because what happened is thanks to Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, I'm showing him the coin, and then I take the coin and I put it inside a book in my room. It disappeared.
And now it's gone.
It's been now 4 or 5 months. I can't find it. And he had the nerve to ask me yesterday, did you find your HypnoCoin? In fact, David looked at it. He's like, wow, I've never seen that version before. And I said, me neither. But it was a little rounded from being in the box, and I wanted to plan out. So
for anybody that can't see us out there, I'm grabbing my head and shaking it because this isn't the first story of Eddie losing something.
Well, it's just I got to blame this one on Todd for his hair.
We'll blame it on Todd. That sounds good.
But anyway,
thanks, Todd.
Item. My God, who didn't see this item? This item, I didn't even mention it, but it was sold by, I think, Gary mail order catalog. The pimple it takes out the vacuum thing.
Oh yeah,
it's supposed to be a thing that sucks out your pimples.
They still make stuff that's sort of like that.
They do, but this is an original, Harriet Carter, whatever. That's way back. And then there's another item super famous, the Walk-O-Matic that you put on the side of your thing, and it tells you how many miles you walk in a day.
Nice.
This always sold in the Johnson Smith ads, So that's this item goes way back. I mean, I don't know. I think this might be only 1 or 2 that I have. I don't think I have too many of them. But this is the original Walk-O-Matic. In fact, so that people realize what it is, and they might remember the picture, if I can get it out of this original box, which is...
don't damage it.
It's not coming out. It's not coming out. So, oh gosh, really?
Don't break it. You're breaking it. I can hear it breaking.
No, I just want to show that. Oh, here, I got it out. That's the one what it looked like.
Yeah.
When
yeah.
you walk, it had like a balance inside. Like I think it's a little balance that goes back and forth like that, and it racks up the. And it's obviously, in fact, there it is. I'm trying to. It kind of works like the old magic calculator.
Yeah.
Sold in mail order that they had a pen on it, and it's supposed to tell you the times table. But anyway, oh gosh, oh my gosh, it's going hard.
Don't break it.
Well, I got to put it on later because I just realized it came with instructions.
Uh-oh.
I almost crushed the instructions right now. See, guys, I just did this and ripped it. Look, and ripped
it.
Cuss at Joe. See, now I got to thank Joe for something too.
No, blame it on Todd.
Oh my God! Look at this. I ripped the original instructions. Let me see what the instructions look like. Here you go. I've never actually opened them, so here you go. Wait, there you go. I keep missing the camera here. The instructions for the
instructions how to walk
pedometer. Yeah, see it, Joe. You should feel bad. Look what you made me do, Joe. Look, you made me rip it right here.
Oh man!
Wow, Joe, how can you do that to your friend, man? Anyway,
Santa's not bringing me nothing this year now.
Here's another famous one that Cav said to us. That never worked. I called the dogs and they just didn't respond. Either the dogs were dumb or the whistle didn't work. The famous silent dog whistle. Now, this one here, though, believe it or not, I have it here because this is a deluxe version of the whistle. And oh my goodness, can you?
I wonder if I could use one of those to train my sea monkeys.
With Todd, well, you have to get the approval of Todd. Write to Todd Mitchin and ask him if it's okay for you to try to train his sea monkeys, get written permission, and then possibly
from His Royal Majesty.
Here's the thing. Now, the way this works is you turn the back here and you can adjust the pitch. And let me see.
Oh,
that's what it sounds like. And basically what it does is like a whistle. It's very high pitch, and I know Cav said it doesn't, but I know I've tried it. It does work. The dogs go like that. Look, but you got to just use it for training.
Yeah.
Kits, they made it sound. The Honor House company made it sound like it was like only silent dog whistle. They used the word silent to really sell this product.
All in the wording.
Version. So this is more. It's not like the one they used to sell was a little cheaper than this one, but it's it now. This is one item. Of course, a more modern version of it, but it was called the Stink Perfume. This is basically a stink bomb in a bottle. I remember I gave it to work one time. This guy go, hey, man, because it says French perfume. I said, this is a nice. So he took the thing and he just, and he goes like this. He just gave it to me and walked away. And I go, what happened? He says, Eddie, because I almost punched you. He says, that thing went through my head. It came on my ears. It almost killed me.
Oh, they still sell stink bombs. I remember they used to.
No, stink bombs they're all over the internet. You can buy them on eBay all the time. Now, get ready. You can buy them on Amazon too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now here we have, and I'm going to start with the earliest version we have of the skeleton. In fact, if you notice, this is a very early version. See?
Oh, I like that. That's a little bit it's not white. It looks like an off-white.
Yeah, it's like a bone color if you look at it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There is, if you look over here, let me see if this camera, because I mean the light doesn't really let me, but let me get a little closer. It doesn't have a separation. It doesn't, like the head is basically, you know how yours has the little separation in the bottom?
Oh yeah, here I'll show it in the camera.
Yeah. No, I have the other one here.
See, yeah, you can see the differences.
The idea with the separation was that you would stick that part inside your pocket. This one kind of you had to stick the whole thing and it did this. Now
he says those look like my family.
The way this was supposed to work is you attach an invisible string to your back of your neck and then you pull it up and it climbs out of your pocket. But here is the early. Now this one is probably 1960s. I guess this is very old. I think this might be the only one I have because this is a very old version. Now, what happened was this is the more popular version, and meaning more popular. This, most ads of the 7-foot Frankenstein would show this. I'm sorry, 7-foot Monster Goes would show this, or they showed this one. Okay, but that is the different ones. Then, of course, I think this is made in China. Actually, I thought it was a Franco, but this is an early version of the same one in glow in the dark.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you have this one, and it's kind of, if you could see it here, it glows in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this one here was also, now I have even different versions of this that go way back. Like I have probably anywhere from 10 to 11 original ones like this. Now this is the earliest one, but I have ones of the hands that have a different carding that were sold by the Captain Company and stuff. Now Another famous item that was called ventriloquist. The ventriloquist in time of the 1970s, anything that was for ventriloquist or how to throw your voice were very popular. One thing, though, that I refused to sell, I always sold the book on how to become a ventriloquist, and I did call it Throw Your Voice, the same ads as Honor House, Johnson Smith. But one thing I never did was, and I refused to do, now here is an original. I'll try to take off the staple because this is in the original packaging of what was called by the Johnson Smith Company the Ventrilo.
Don't mess up the packaging.
No, it doesn't really matter because it's the product inside is what. Because when I bought them, I have a couple of I bought them, several hundred of them. But when I got them, I thought twice, and I'm like, I can't live with myself if a kid chokes on this darn thing because of me selling them. But anyway, when you order the Ventrilo, the original Ventrilo, and actually this package has 4 of them, okay?
Wow, those are tiny.
Yeah, you got, it's actually called the Swiss Bird Wobbler. And it came with this little teeny paper here that would show you how to use it by inserting it in your mouth and holding it up against the roof of your mouth. The thing about it, if you say you put it under your tongue, it's one thing. But to put it on top of your tongue, insert it on top of your mouth, the chances of swallowing.
Oh, I'm swallowing it. That's it.
And then this is the book, the booklet, which is this little thing like that, so you could see this stupid little thing like this. This is the booklet that taught you how to become a ventriloquist. So they would sell this between 25 cents and 50 cents. Now, the actual device, which I thought because I ordered it when I was like 6 years old, which thank God I didn't, is this device. Look how dangerous it is. It has a cellophane type of paper in the middle, surrounded by a leather thing, and then it has a metal clip.
Oh, I'm choking on that.
Dude, you put this in your mouth, even as an adult, you're choking on this thing.
Oh, absolutely.
What blows me away is how after, 40 years, 50 years, that I know of, I've never heard anybody choking on it. But that's the famous Throw Your Voice. Now, one of the famous mail order companies, this is probably one of the most famous Johnson Smith Company novelties ever sold. Okay? And this is an original. The Coffin Bank.
Oh, I love those.
But if awesome. You see, this Coffin Bank, I have every version you can get of this bank.
In that packaging,
I have paid $80 for one.
The artwork on that is just fantastic too. On that packaging.
Yeah, no, the graphics on it, because this is the original. They have
those are fantastic.
More modern versions of it. So, wait, look at how nice, right?
Yeah.
Now I have ones that are also shaped like a coffin. I've bought every single one of them anytime I could because I like this particular band. But here it is. Now here is the metal tin made by the famous, I think the company's called Johan Company or something. Made it, and you can see back here the originality because it says "Made in Japan." Can you see it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, made in Japan. But this is definitely one of. You can see the wine key. Wait, let me see the wine key in the corner there. Now I had 12 of them. I've sold all and kept 4 because I bought them when I had my magic shop in 1985. I bought them and they sold me, which is funny though, because the Franco-American Novelty Company, when I went there and I bought several things in their old stock, when I ordered 24 of these, they sent me 12 original and 12, but back in 1985, this was only worth $5, and I paid, I don't know, I don't even remember what I paid wholesale, but I bought 2 dozen and then I kept buying, but I kept the metal ones because they were, obviously I saw that they were older.
Well, hey, Eddie, we got about 5 minutes here.
About 5 minutes, so
we got to wrap it up.
One final thing I want to show here is a very great photograph that I took there with my Robbie the Robot collection. I just want to show that I just don't buy one thing; I buy many of the same thing.
That's pretty cool.
But anyway, Joe, I think that kind of wraps it up. One thing I was going to show is there was a famous company called LB. This is one of my other catalog. This one goes back to if you look at the thing, they're 1991. See, 91.
Yep.
And this guy here actually was pretty good, but all his stuff, you always see like in the old Boys Life magazine, there's like a little B and it says the LB company and they sold novelties and stuff. With this, all he concentrated were on his wooden nickels. But he had because one of the companies, like I said, one of the companies, and this, see the stuff that he was saying, it's all in here, like samples and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
I have all this original stuff. But one of the things about LB is that LB was kind of like, there was a guy named Jack Abel. You know what? Let me take that back. I shouldn't be saying the original owner names and stuff. But there was a guy, I got to own the Fun Factory, which was owned by Lou Wise, and he was my partner, so I mentioned him. But there was another famous company that sold the money bags. It says $1 million for 50 cents, and that was called the Fun House. And they were located out of Newark, New Jersey. I was friends with the owner of that. Friends meaning I spoke to him on the phone. I didn't really ever meet him in person. But he had a really interesting catalog, and he sold a lot of the stuff. The Fun House is probably the third most famous company in mail order, because you have Johnson Smith and Honor House were side by side the best. Then you had American Circle Corp. You had the Fun House and Fun Factory. All over the comic books. They ran the biggest ads. And then you had the big three, companies like that finished off and stuff. Right. But anyway, I think, Joe, I bought the best I could in the history of mail order for the end of the year of 2020.
Sounds good.
This again, it'll be 2089, and both me and Joe will be here telling folks
to put on your X-ray vision glasses.
Yo, I would have had my hypnospecs and I would have hypnotized you with mine. You would see deep into my eyes with your X-ray specs. By the way, Joe, that comic books stuff you got there in your house, do you sell all that comic books out of your house there?
Some newer stuff, but none of my older.
Yeah, because I see you set up a nice comic book collection. But that Spider-Man in the back there, way back, that little inflatable guy, I got about 2 or 3 of those. I like him.
He's big. I got that one in about like around 96 or so. So he's
I won mine in an arcade game. I won it.
Well, we gotta wrap it up here. Eddie, as always, that was great showing us all the cool mail order items, and this was great having a video. We'll definitely be having more videos to go along with our podcast. And for everyone out there, check out our podcast, House of the Unusual .radio. Head over to YouTube, House of the Unusual. Check out all the cool videos we have out there. Eddie's got some really cool unboxing videos. I have a few, and so does my buddy Todd. And I guess Eddie's buddy too. I guess we're all buddies with Todd. Yeah, why not? So go check that out. And every Wednesday at 3 a.m. Eastern time, we have our new podcast comes out. So mark that on your calendar so you never miss an episode. And I want to thank everybody for watching us and for listening, or however you're getting your info here. And head over to houseoftheunusual.com. We have a free forum site. You could join there and talk to some like-minded people and give us some ideas for what you'd like to hear on the show. And if you want to be a guest, let us know, and we'll see what we could talk about. So that's it for 2020.
Well, the end of the year and another year that flew by.
Yep. Hopefully 2021's better for us, and we'll be bigger and better things for House of the Unusual. So
exactly. And remember, guys, I only have about maybe 10 left of the original 7-foot Ghost special edition right here.
Oh, I got mine.
You can get your own.
My Craig Tarback sign, #1.
Yeah, the Craig Tarback. Joe is my buddy. He had to get the #1, obviously.
All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. All right. Good night.